Hey YouTube, is Gundu73 making another video, and today it'll be just talking about how, at least for me, my opinions on knives and what have sort of changed since I've started. Now I've been into knives, I guess, for probably about 4 years now, and when I started way back 4 years ago in 2008-ish, I was wanting to get a little bit of everything with knives. I wanted like a knife from each brand. That was my goal. Which now just seems stupid, but that was my goal. So, but I mean, from there I've changed to basically not knowing what I liked exactly in knives to knowing like exactly what I like. And it's to the point where I'm just getting more and more selective. You know, and I know other people, at least a couple of my knife buddies, are sort of like this too, where it's like, you'll see a picture of a new knife, if you follow Spyderco at all, they have at the Amsterdam show or SHOT Show or Blade Show, whatever, they'll release pictures of their prototypes or their newer knives and whatnot, and you think, oh, that looks cool, but for me it's like, oh, that looks cool, I wouldn't buy it, but that looks cool. That's to where I am right now. And things that, that I used to like that I probably wouldn't get a knife in now would be like a knife that has only G10 handles, like the Paramilitary 2. I would not rebuy this knife simply because I don't like full G10 handles anymore. My favorite lock currently in knife style is a titanium frame lock. So even if I were to buy that, I wouldn't carry it. Something like this would stand to get carried more because I just like the feel and everything about a titanium frame lock. It's like what I like. Even knives like the Kershaw Skyline. It's a nice knife. If I ever saw anyone carrying a Skyline and said, hey, that's a nice knife, I have one of those. But even then, would I rebuy a Skyline? Probably not. When I was first into knives, let's say if I had $100, this is an arbitrary number, I might have bought 3 or 4 knives in the $25 to $30 range. Nowadays, I buy one $100 knife. In addition to liking, a certain style of knife, I'm liking more expensive knives, and that's not saying that something like the Skyline or the Parrot 2 is a bad knife. They're great knives, no doubt about it, but it's just my personal opinion has just changed, And then, it's funny because I always talk about deal breakers for knives and people, and I think some of them are just, ridiculous, like, oh, it doesn't have jimping, or it's too heavy, or whatever, but I have my own deal breakers, But the thing for me, though, is I don't call the knife junk if it has a quote-unquote deal breaker for me. So for example, and there are some exceptions, but I don't really like to buy import knives that are cheaper because I wouldn't carry them. To me, it's less about is the knife quality, and it's more about would this get EDC'd, So knives like my Sebenza, my Tilt, my Lacanico, these get carried. Even my 0550 doesn't get carried much anymore because it's, compared to these, it's a lot heavier. There's that weight pet peeve again. But just for me, I just find myself moving away from budget knives and moving away from, G10, like all G10. If it's something like this where it has, G10 and titanium, I'm fine with that. Especially like a smoother G10 like that, but just like something like this where we have 2 slabs of peel ply G10 and a steel liner doesn't really impress me all that much anymore. The Skyline is still a great knife. If I was going to go travel by plane and I wanted to take some knives and checked baggage, which is legal, not on your carry-on, but your checked baggage, I'd probably take my Skyline and my Parrot 2. That'd be my combo, depending on where I was going. But that's why I keep those around, just in case, I'd have to go into some circumstance where I wouldn't want to risk losing these, because a downside to when you get these more expensive knives is, if you do lose them, you're kind of, out a good bit of money for one knife. If you lose your Skyline, you're out $35. If you lose your large Sebenza, you're out $400. So there are some downsides, but I think it's with any hobby in general that the more you're into the hobby, the more, you appreciate the subtler nuances in whatever it is that you're interested in, which ultimately leads you to buy the higher end stuff. That's just my opinion. There are some people where they get into knives, let's just say, and they're at like the Spyderco level type knives, and they just love Spydercos. They're like, I don't need to buy anything more expensive, these are great. But for me, it's always been, well, that Spyderco's nice, but let's see let's see if I can notice the difference between it and the Sebenza. Let's see if I can notice the difference between a Sebenza and a custom. That's just me. So, I hope I didn't come off like a snob or anything. Like I said, if I see anyone carrying, any name brand knife, even if it's like, a Cold Steel Voyager, which is a great knife in my opinion. That's one of the exceptions to my no foreign knives rule. I'd say, hey, it's a nice knife, because barely anyone carries knives, and of those people that carry knives, fewer even carry higher end stuff. So I'd be looking down on a good bit of society. So basically, all knives are good. If you carry a knife, that's fantastic. If you carry a nicer knife, that's even better. These are just my opinions based off of, my personal growth into knives, if you want to call it that. To me, knives are my passion, So to someone who's not familiar with knives, they'd think I'm, batshit insane for carrying a $400 knife. But for me, it's like, well, I'm to that point where I can appreciate it. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them. If you have shared my personal experience, I'd like to hear it. Or if you're one of those people who've locked in at a certain stage, say you like the budget knives, or you like the $100 range knives, or what have you. So thanks for watching, guys. Longer video, but I didn't want to make it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.